part 2. And today Alice is going to talk about how to pick out antique candlesticks and some of the things that you would find around your fireplace in the early American period. For instance, portraits or candlestick holders. And she's also going to talk about some heat sources that we use. So this was very informative to me. I found out what's an older candlestick holder, what's a newer one, and what's important. And I found out about Hogscrapers. So I know that you're going to enjoy this part of the drawing room. And here we go.
Smart, you know, and they had to live basically in the one room where that fireplace was. So I do have a fireplace. It's not on. I didn't press the button to turn it on, but you know, to have that flavor of a drawing room,
right, and
have a fireplace in that room,
right.
And most of them had fireplaces either probably for the kitchen one obviously for cooking. This one I've sort of outfitted it with. Obviously a candle box with lots of candles. And here I think would have been maybe the strikes or something to light the candles.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
All right.
You know, I just obviously decorate. I don't know that they would have had that unless, you know, they wanted to dry some things. Maybe they did. This is a more formal fireplace.
Hold on a minute, Alice. Just let me move the light.
I would say this is a more formal fireplace than a cooking one.
Okay.
When we go into the kitchen, we have one of these chats again, and we do the kitchen and all the collectibles there. That's like the working fireplace and all the tools and stuff like that. But this one's sort of the pretty one. I do have obviously some andirons and a bellows in original paint, which is so beautiful.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, even their ordinary things were so pretty.
Wow.
So I've sort of outfitted it with those sort of things. I have a boot jack, which is a cricket. But remember we talked about hearts?
Yes.
And there it is.
What does a boot jack? What's that for?
It helps you get your boots on and off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Like here it would hold them and yeah.
Oh.
Help. I don't know why I have it by the fireplace, but it's pretty. Then I do have obviously a foot warmer, and again this is one of my favorite ones with the heart. And this, I put it near the fire because they would want to fill it up with coals or embers or whatever, so they could carry it with them when they went to the carriage. Keep their feet warm, or maybe they sat by the fireplace or moved the chair out and they wanted to keep their feet warm. I mean, I think if they sat that close, they'd probably be warm, but but I just love that this is wood and tin, and it's punched with hearts and almost like a kind of a, I guess it's a flower or a starfish. Again, a very ordinary item that they really would have used every day. This one is a little bit fancier. I have other ones that maybe aren't quite as decorated, but they just made things so beautifully. I guess that's what I love when I see these old things and pick them up. And I love that the craftsmanship was there and that the repairs, you know, they repaired things. And when we do the kitchen, I have bowls with repairs. People love them so much, they didn't want to throw them out.
Right.
So that will go there. And then I obviously have a little candle stand. It's nice and small for a candle. This one, some of the candle stands tilt, but this one does not. I want to talk about the candles a little bit later because I have a kind of a thing on that. Let's see. Lighting. Okay, so we have a portrait. It's by an English artist, and his last name is Bennett. And there's a story about this too.
Oh.
I'm assuming this is some sort of maybe sea captain or rich English gentleman. And I wanted one, but they can be very, very pricey. So I just went into an antique place and I went downstairs and I looked and it was like standing up on the floor. And I was like, oh, no, I'm afraid now. I don't want to look at it because he's so beautiful. So the guy took an offer. And it was an offer that I felt I could do. And he took it and here he is.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know who he is. On the back of this, there was a whole printout of this particular artist. He lived from 1858. I think it was 1778 to 1858. So that's nice when you get some background on the picture. He couldn't find this particular print that the guy had done when he did the research, but he attributed it to that guy, so that's good enough for me.
So his name was Bennett, the artist.
Bennett, yes, I think it's probably William.
William, yeah.
Because there were a lot of Williams.
A lot of Williams.
But
William Matthew.
his name is, let me look under portrait, William Bernard Bennett, 1778 to 1858.
Wow.
But he's just fabulous. That's an original frame. It's kind of gilded, and you can see it was plaster underneath.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he was like a prize.
Mm-hmm.
He was a prize. So while we're kind of near all the candlesticks, I thought I would I have a big thing here on lighting. Obviously, they needed lighting.
You need lighting too.
Obviously, candles. They made candles. It was just a normal household thing they had to do. Candles, candles, candles. They say that the beeswax ones were the best ones because they burned the slowest and they smelled good.
Yeah.
And they burned clean. That was the thing.
Yeah.
They also had these Betty lamps here. Can you see the Betty lamp? Which they were smaller and they would put like whale oil, but they were kind of stinky and but whatever. They used whatever they could for lighting.
Right.
So it was the candles. Then we have obviously the lanterns, and obviously a lot of candlesticks. So I have many up here. Can you see me? So this is just a chamber stick. Maybe they would carry it around, when they went up to their bedroom. I think it's just tin. Nothing fancy. It does have a little what do you call it? A push-up. So I guess it's called the push-up chamber stick. See how it would push the candle
I've seen
up?
those. Yep.
They also said that if it's going to be marked with a name, it would be right there. I mean, these were just ordinary, so I don't think they bothered even marking them. Okay, so then these candlesticks like this are called Hogscraper candlesticks because the Hogscrapers actually look just like this. So if I took the candle out, and it wouldn't have the push-up thing.
Okay.
But they looked just like this. And they were used to scrape the bristles off of the pigs. That's what Hogscraper.
Why did you scrape bristles off of pigs?
So you could eat them.
Oh, okay.
It's all about food.
I thought they were
and
itchy or
survival.
something. And you...
So that's why this is called the Hogscraper, because it looks like it. A lot of candles like this now, they have this little hanging little hook because maybe they would hang it over a chair, maybe, I don't know, or they would hang it from a hook maybe.
Okay.
And again, you have the push-up. This actually does have some sort of name here, so that does have the maker name, but that's where you want to look if it's marked.
Okay.
I mean, so many of them aren't marked, but okay, so now we'll go to the next one. Again, another just a little bit fancier, maybe, chamber stick. And this is the push-up piece of it. Because you wanted to make sure you use all the candle because
that makes
otherwise
sense.
you'd be making more the next day. And I think they use these to just, carry around.
Okay.
I think chamber stick, maybe they brought them upstairs at night and then lit the way and then I think that's... Okay, can you see me? All right, okay. So my favorite now, these are called Hogscraper candlesticks, but they're called wedding band candlesticks. Obviously, because it looks like there's a gold wedding band.
Yes, it does.
And that's my latest and greatest collection. They're hard to find. And I do have one over there on this table here. Again, now this one that one has an issue, but I'll get to that. So here they are. So this was obviously to make them a little bit fancier because it was dark, it was dull, and also light would reflect off of this polished piece to give them more light.
Okay.
So, but now there's a way on these candlesticks, if you flip them over, well, this one is telling me the price and everything, but I wanted to leave it on. See how this is pleated?
Yeah.
This is the earliest.
Okay.
Okay, so if you find one of these, this one is from 1750 to 1775. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Yeah. Again, it has its the push-up. Sometimes they're missing, and it has the beautiful wedding band, and then the little, let's call it a little ear.
Yeah.
So those are the earliest if they're cleated. The next one, gotta see. The next one, so that's the oldest, and then if they look like this on the bottom, this is the next.
Generation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, this, I don't know, it has a line there, but
Wow.
I don't see a name on it. But how pretty are they?
Gorgeous.
It's, shine them up.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And then this one, which I don't know, someone had put a different top, I think on this one, maybe something happened to it and they put this piece on it. It actually is marked. And again, it has this the nut and it has the nut. And then let me just see. I think the next way you find out, maybe it's not. No, that's cleated. They're round on they look like this on the bottom. And that's the next.
Oh,
so you can kind of get your
wow.
age from that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what age would you say that round one is?
Yeah, it's probably from the 1800s, maybe latter, I would say.
Okay.
Where these are earlier, late 1700s, early 1800s. But that's how you can tell, which I didn't actually know that until I bought this one from a dealer who told me all about, and I'd never seen a cleated one before.
Yeah.
So I said,
Yeah.
So you can learn a lot when you go and you talk to the dealers, because it's not just a wealth of information. A lot of times I'll leave the information on the bottom if they've written something. So especially sometimes if it comes from a family, because someday these are going to be passed down to someone. So it's kind of nice to have that history. So I thought that was a whole and they also had, obviously they had these types of sconces with the reflective mirror on the back. And actually when you light this up, it just goes, just punched tin. Also, they had punched tin lanterns as well to kind of spread the light out. And also the flame was protected when you want to go move it. That's why you'll see, even if you buy reproductions now, you'll see it has the loop where you can carry it or attach it to the ceiling.
Right.
That's what they did.
Wow.
Now this is obviously a new chandelier, but they would have had probably chandeliers with real candles in them in the room. They would probably have a couple of hooks right from the ceiling or a beam. And you'll see that. I didn't want to be that authentic. I wanted real light in my room. What else? I did want to talk about the paneling in a room.
Okay.
Just paneling in general. Well, obviously you've seen some of my murals. So that was a wall treatment, because these walls, they could decay easily or they could get damaged. So people like to somehow protect them or decorate them. And when I was reading about paneling, a lot of times it was just rough hewn wood just applied to the wall, again, mostly as a protection. And I'm sure it gave them a little bit of insulation as well, but nothing fancy. And it wasn't until, you know, there was a little more affluence, maybe like I would say 1750, 60, where people started wanting to do decorative paneling. And that's when they kind of got into the raised paneling. And this isn't really very ornate, but some of them would just get very, very ornate. Like if you go into some of the museums, they're just so beautiful. I just wanted to say simple, but that I never really knew why they had paneling, but it was basically to protect the walls. And then as the walls became better, I think it was more decorative. One of the things that they did say, as I was looking it up, is if they were only going to have one wall panel with the wood, maybe that's all the wood they could get, I don't know, they would probably do it on the fireplace wall, because then there might be ovens and closets, chimney cupboards and things like that along that wall.
Right.
Yeah, so that was an interesting fact that I didn't really know.
Well, wasn't that wonderful? Oh my goodness, I'm ready to go out and buy some candlestick holders. I didn't know that I needed them until I saw them now, and now I'm wondering where I can get them, and I want to get the older ones. So there'll be another video tomorrow. We're going to be looking at the grandfather clock. We're going to be looking at some of the plates, and we're also going to be looking at silhouettes and portraits, and I think that that is so fascinating. So stay tuned and we'll see you then. I think that is so fascinating. So we'll see you then.